Hey guys, this is Johnny FD and welcome to Module 8 of my free dropshipping course. Today's module is all about calling, emailing, and getting approved by suppliers, by dropship suppliers. This is a big question that everyone has is, Johnny, what do I do? Do I call them? Do I email them? Do I sign up somewhere through a form? How do I follow up? What if they say no? Do I call them back? How often should I call them? What time of the day should I call? All these questions people ask all the time. So today, I'm going to be helping you with all of that. So if you haven't gotten signed up for the free course yet, just go to dropshiplab.com or just go to Johnny FD and look for my blog post on my free dropshipping course. You can sign up there. You get all the videos like this and also access to the private members group where you can help each other out, ask questions, and I can help you out there as well. So today's question is really, how do you get approved to start selling products? Well, there's a couple different routes. So if you're going through something like AliExpress or you're doing arbitrage from Amazon or Home Depot, you don't actually need to call anyone or get approved. You just start selling the products, you mark it up, and then you basically order something as like a guest, or as a gift, and you send it to them. That's why people like this route, is because it's easy. Because you don't have to talk to anyone, because you don't have to actually, go the route of a real business. The downside of that is, first, you don't really have any kind of heads up. You don't have a leg up. Every single person is in the same position as you, and you're not building a real business. You're just doing arbitrage. The method of dropshipping that I really like is what Anton taught me in his course. It's antonsmethod.com if you want to check it out and follow his entire methodology. But what I've taken away from it is, you want it to be hard. You don't want to get into niches or sell products that everyone else is selling, especially generic, no-name things. I actually want to sell branded products that people are searching for. And ideally, I would like to sell Apple laptops, but there's no way Apple's going to approve me. But guess who would approve me? These manufacturers of this like shabby chic, Sri Lankan style furniture in the US. Because this brand, whoever makes this, maybe most people haven't heard of, but the people who are into Sri Lankan style shabby chic furniture know this brand and really like it. And if I can get approved by them, it makes it really, really easy. So with Anton's method, the way he taught me is, it's actually better to make it harder. If anybody can sell your products, you're just competing on price, or you're competing for ad spend. But if you're the only one selling certain products and it's hard to get approved by those manufacturers, especially if they have a good reputation in making quality items, then you have a much, much better chance of being one of the 5 or 8 people who are advertising that's one's gonna click on. And sure, you're never gonna be able to compete with big companies like Costco or Walmart or even like Wayfair and Hayneedle, but at the same time, you don't need to take all their business. You just need to have a small sliver of it. So just because you see that they're selling there, doesn't necessarily mean you can't compete. With the exception, honestly, of Costco, in my experience, the suppliers I've had who have also sold in Costco, they have such deals with Costco where we just can't compete. Sometimes the pricing that they give Costco is so low that even my wholesale price, which is normally a 30 to 32% discount, just can't even compete with what they're selling it for normally. So with those suppliers, I end up dropping them. And here's another part of it is, this is why a course like Anton teach you, don't even try to get into a niche unless there's 20 plus possible suppliers, because there's a good chance you're either not going to get approved by a lot of them, or some of them you're going to get approved with and you're just going to be like, this is a crappy supplier. I don't really want to sell their products. I don't want to advertise their products. Their customer service is bad, their shipping times are slow, the actual product quality is bad, or the prices aren't competitive, things like that. So don't get too tied up with the suppliers you call. Think of it as like dating. You want to call 20 different girls or ask 20 people out before you get married. You don't want to get meet one person, but like, this is it. This is the one person I need to marry, and if I don't marry her, then my life is ruined. It's like business, and life just doesn't work that way. We have to be a little bit open-minded and a little bit flexible. But unlike marriage, or at least traditional marriage, you can have multiple suppliers. You could have 5 or 10 suppliers. So that's also a nice part. So what do you actually do? How do you contact them? All right. So first off, I don't recommend going through any kind of program that you have to pay to become a dealer. It just doesn't make any sense. And so if some site is saying, we'll put you part of this network, you just have to pay $29 a month or $100, whatever it is, don't do it. A real supplier is a win-win relationship. And this is very, very important, guys, is you have to come with the approach that it is a win-win relationship for both of you. A lot of people who are new to dropshipping or new to any kind of business, they think of it as, I'm trying to get something from the supplier, like, please approve me, please approve me, And if you come from that scarcity mindset, the supplier's gonna think, man, this guy's gonna be a huge waste of my time. It's gonna be a life drain. He's gonna ask me a ton of questions. He's probably not gonna sell any of my products. He's gonna just be needy, and nobody wants that. Instead, imagine if you're an experienced business person, if you know that whatever site you're going to launch is going to sell a lot of their products, that you're going to make them a lot of money, and you're also not going to ask a ton of stupid questions that you can find elsewhere. If you can approach the supplier with that mindset, I will guarantee the supplier will be happy to have you on board. So really think about this for a second. Before you're calling a supplier, before you're contacting them, ask yourself, am I coming from a place where I'm giving value, or am I coming from a place where I'm taking value? Because honestly, if right now you're like, I can't even see how I would give value and I have no idea if I'm gonna make any sales or not, then what I would recommend is finish watching this entire dropshipping series, the whole 12 videos, so you have an idea of what the plan is before you actually start contacting suppliers. But if you have business experience, if you have sales experience, then yeah, just start contacting them now, because the sooner you can get them on board, the better. All right, so how do you actually get the supplier's contact info, or how do you sign up as a supplier, as a dropshipper? Notice I hardly ever use the term sign up as a dropshipper, because that's not actually a thing. You're becoming a dealer or a seller for them. You're not, dropshipping is just the fulfillment model. And unfortunately, a lot of people mix that up. A lot of people just start emailing companies and say, do you dropship, do you dropship, do you dropship? And even though they probably do, they probably get so tired of answering these idiots who have no idea what dropshipping is, using the term wrong, and don't even have a website, don't know how to run a business, and they just start, avoiding that term because they don't want their time wasted. Imagine a company that is busy building something. They're importing products or they're building products. They don't have time to, deal with all these wannabe entrepreneurs, these wannabe dropshippers who, read some free article somewhere, or, took a $5 course, or, learned from some other guy who has never actually done it before, and just starts like spamming, 2,000 suppliers with the same cold email. Like it's actually kind of ruined the industry. And that's why I wanted to make this free course, is I want you to have the proper training. If you can't afford Anton's course, he goes really in depth with the sales, the psychology of it. Like, he basically will guarantee that you will get approved by suppliers. And if you can't go through that, this is why I'm here to try to help you guys as much as possible, to give you, the right foot. So how do you actually find these suppliers? Don't Google the term, patio table dropshipper or dropshipping patio table, because either you're going to find these kind of scammy sites that just want you to pay $50 a month to sign up for the service, and the reason why you don't want to sign up is, even though they might actually dropship that product for you, is you're not going to get a good deal. First off, you're not going to be exclusive. You're going to have so many people competing against, and second, they're going to give you terrible margins. So it just, and everyone else there is going to be undercutting each other. What you want to do instead is you want to find semi-exclusive deals. My goal, every time I start a store, is I want to start a store where the products I'm selling, less than 10 other people are selling online. And it doesn't mean, nobody in the world is selling it, but there's really less than 10 kind of websites that somebody would actually buy from. So like if you search that specific product and you look around and you're like, okay, the top 5 of these big box stores, and there's 3 more kind of smaller websites. I ignore all the ones that like either just look super spammy or aren't really built or are on eBay or something. But really, if you can be in the top 10 selling a product, and this is why niches are so important, and not just to sell general generic products that everyone else is selling, then you have a very good chance of getting 10% or more of the sales of a product. And depending on the product, that might be $10,000 a month worth of products. It might be $100,000 a month worth of products. So this is why niche selection is so important. So go back to that video if you haven't watched it already. But once you've figured out what you want to sell, you figure out the name of the company that makes the product or imports the product into the US or Australia or wherever you're from, just contact them directly. You can email them or call them. Anton suggests to call them because nobody likes to get spammy emails, right? And when you call them, don't just say, do you dropship? Ask, what is the process of becoming a new dealer for you? That is the key word, is regardless if you're going to have them dropship it or warehouse, send it to your warehouse for inventory, the process is the same. They need to send you a new dealer application. They need to get your reseller's certificate, and they need to, talk to you to figure out, do they want you to represent their brand? Are you going to be a good fit? Are you going to take care of their customers? Are you going to, be an authorized dealer? I mean, that's really what it is you want to be an authorized dealer. And that's why I say, even though I would love to sell Apple laptops, Apple will never let me be an authorized dealer. Like, you'd have to be like Ideal or some like huge company that, fits their model. I mean, if I was Best Buy, yeah, I can become an authorized dealer for Apple products. But as Johnny's Buy, like, I can't sell Apple products, but I can sell, Fernando's Sri Lankan furniture easily. Right? Especially if you can contact and talk to Fernando and say, hey, I would like to become one of your dealers. What is the process of getting signed up? Can you send me a new dealer application? Can you give me a price list? Like, just whatever you can do to take that next step that a new dealer would take. It's actually pretty simple. And I know that you're probably thinking like, Johnny, why did it take you 15 minutes to just tell me, just call them and ask to become a dealer? But you really have to understand the backstory, because I guarantee if you just called them and you didn't understand the rest of it, you would fumble and you'd be like, yeah, I want to be a dealer. And they're like, what do you mean? Who are you? What's your website? Like, like, how do you plan on selling my products? How do you plan on getting traffic? All that stuff. So that's why it's really important that if you don't have much business experience, you don't have a game plan yet, where you can't answer these questions, like how do you plan on driving traffic? And I would suggest watching the whole series of 12 videos and then coming back and actually doing this step. But once you're ready, highly recommend you call them. And this, your question might be like, when should I call? Who should I ask for all that? This is basic sales training, and there's tons of sales training books out there. There's tons of cold calling books out there, but one easy script that I use that you can use is you just call and you just say, hi, my name is Johnny. I'm from, Johnny's Sri Lankan Furniture Store.com. Who can I speak to become a dealer for Fernando's Sri Lankan furniture? And just shut up. Just wait. Don't talk too much. In sales and in life, the person who talks the most usually ends up losing the deal. So just listen. And chances are you're talking to a secretary, someone who isn't gonna put you in the right touch, and isn't gonna be able to make you a dealer. But what you want is them to either give you the name of the person or to transfer you. Because once you have the name of the person, you can just call back, and next time, instead of saying that whole thing again, you can just say, hi, is Tony Ferguson in He's a UFC fighter, by the way, but yeah. So is Tony F in or something? And that way you can go straight to them. And chances are, whoever actually can approve you is probably pretty high up. Maybe they're the owner, maybe they're a manager. They're probably busy. So the chance of the first time you calling and getting approved is so small. I would say most of my good suppliers that I've had to call back 5, 10, 20 plus times sometimes. And sometimes I would call them, every other day for 2 months before I finally got in touch with them. It's like any real business. And here's what is good and bad is if it's really easy to get approved, it's easy for other people to get approved as well. If it's really hard for you to get approved, it's going to be really hard for your competitors to get approved. So actually think of that as a blessing. What I recommend is create a spreadsheet, keep track of who you're calling, who you spoke to, what the process was, and really put yourself in their shoes. If you have the question of, should I leave a voicemail or not? Ask yourself, if I was this person, would I want to have a bunch of voicemails from someone I've never spoken to before? No. Don't waste people's time, don't spam them. Same, do I want to get a bunch of emails from someone who I've never spoken to before and approve them as a dealer? No. I want to speak to the person first. I want to trust them. So either show up at the location if you happen to be within driving distance. And I've had students of Anton's course literally drive from Melbourne to Sydney, which is a few hours away, and to just basically knock on the doors of suppliers that they wanted and say, hey, I would like to become a dealer. And guess what? If you show up, they see you're a real person, you shake their hand, they see you're serious, they will approve you. Same with trade shows and conferences. If you can go to one of those and meet people in person, I guarantee you they know you're serious, they know you're a real person, they'll trust you, they'll approve you. On the flip side, virtually, if you can call them and speak to them on the phone and demonstrate that you're a real person, that you're good to work with, that you know what you're talking about, that you're not going to waste their time, they will probably approve you as well. But if you just spam email them, if you leave them a bunch of voicemails, if you call and you are super nervous, have no idea what you're talking about, there's a chance that they won't approve you. So that's really the big secret right there, is put yourself in their shoes, come from a abundance mentality where if I call this person and they approve me, I will sell a ton of their products, I will treat their customers great, I won't ask tons of stupid questions that I can get answered elsewhere, and I will do my very best to be a great asset to make them money. I'm coming from a frame where when I call, I know I'm going to make them money, and I know I'm going to be a valuable asset to their company. So why wouldn't they approve me? That's the big secret. So don't email, don't cold email. You can email to follow up and things like that if you've spoken to the person already. But don't leave voicemails, and don't be afraid to call back every day. If you called and nobody picked up, just call back again. It's a business. It's okay to call back again. It's a little bit different than if you're dating someone or you're trying to date someone and you call them every day and they don't answer your call. With the business, persistency is actually a good thing. I don't know, maybe in dating too, I'm not very good at that anymore. But persistency is good. A supplier wants to know that you are a master at following up, because you're probably going to do the same with their customers. That if you are the type to call every day and you say, hey, I'll call you back tomorrow at 3 p.m. and you call them back at 3 p.m. tomorrow, they know that you're probably going to be very reliable, you're probably going to treat customers well, you're probably going to be on point as well. Versus, if you never talk to them, if you never even get the chance to get your foot in the door, it's like never even saying hello. And you just have zero chance. So I hope this video helped. I made these modules in a specific sequence. So by now, you should have your business structure in place. You should have your EIN number, you should have your reseller's license, You should have your domain, you should have a website and a demo site built. And you should have a good idea of what dropshipping is and kind of the overview. So when you start calling, you'll actually be able to answer these questions. You'll be able to supply everything. So when they send you a new dealer application, you can fill it out promptly, fill it out as quick as you can, send it straight back, call them and say, hey, I filled it out. Let me know what the next steps are. If they come back to you and say there's a $10,000 order minimum or something, just tell them like, no, sorry, I would like to sell, item by item. And that's when you can really start talking more about dropshipping. They will ask you, do you have a warehouse? Do you have a showroom? And unfortunately, if you, as we don't, there's gonna be some suppliers that just won't approve us. But you can I guarantee you can change some of their minds, because if you can demonstrate that you're gonna sell a lot of their products, they'll make an exception for you. It's nothing is hard and fast when it comes to business and money. So really, that is the big secret, is if you can demonstrate to them that you're gonna make them money, you're gonna bring more value than you're taking, they will approve you. If you can't demonstrate that, and you come off as more spammy or a waste of time than you are value giving, they're probably not gonna approve you. So watch the rest of these videos. If you need help, ask any questions in the private members forum of our Facebook group. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that now. Tell your friends about Dropship Lab. Tell them to go to dropshiplab.com, or you can send them the link to the blog post on johnnyfd.com. Unfortunately, Facebook and Instagram doesn't let you send dropshiplab.com because it is an email opt-in on Aweber, and they just don't like that. But you know what? I'm not going to make a hosted landing page, so it's going to be that obstacle to jump in, but it'll be worth it. So yeah, make sure you're signed up for that email list and have your friends sign up as well. And I hope everyone is well. Best of luck getting approved by suppliers. Remember, the harder it is for you, the harder it is going to be for your competition. So that's a good thing, not a bad thing. See you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.